Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Rangers, and I'm here to talk about Game 74 of the regular season, where the Rangers win 8-5 over the Arizona Coyotes. And it was just a milestone night for so many of the Rangers. Like, holy crap. A genuinely a historic night in Rangers history. Like, the first overall pick for the 2020 season for the New York Rangers got a hat trick and a 5-point night, both firsts in his career. And it's like the third most important milestone of the night. It's insane what all happened. Also, to get ahead of it now, I feel kind of bad. The Rangers played a game on Thursday night, and I am aware that it happened. I did not see it, and I had work the next morning that required me getting up at 5:30. For reference, the game ended at about midnight. And, no, I just simply know there was no chance I was going to be able to watch that anyway, and then the next day happened and played out, and I gotta be honest, I forgot that it was even a thing that had happened until it was about 8 p.m. on Friday night, and I was like, I'm just gonna briefly throw in that game into this, and then other things happened tonight that were super important. So thoughts for that Avalanche game are, the Rangers won in the shootout. That's super cool. Igor, if I'm not mistaken, had 39 stops on 40 shots, which is really, really good, especially against a really, really good team like the Colorado Avalanche. And they ended McKinnon's home scoring streak, which was at 35 entering that game. That's super cool. Now, all the storylines I want to talk about happened tonight. So, 8-5 is a bonkers score, and you paint in broad strokes when it's like that. It was a crazy back and forth. The Rangers pull away at the end, get a couple of empty netters, which is all well and good. But by God, the three lines that you've got to talk about for this game, or the three storylines, which is Lafreniere, Kreider, and Jonathan Quick. We'll start with Chris Kreider. Nice little greasy, quintessential Chris Kreider goal, and it's his 300th career goal. Every single one of them scored with the New York Rangers. And when you talk about iconic New York Rangers over the past couple of decades, or since the turn of the century, or honestly at this point in the franchise's history, Kreider might not be one of the first ones that you think of. And it's criminally unfair, because he has played every single career game as a blue shirt. He has been a leader since seemingly he got here. I physically and literally cannot remember a time where I watched hockey and Chris Kreider was not on this team. Granted, I've not watched it too long, but more than that, I can't remember a time where it didn't feel like he was this team. He is the New York Rangers hockey to me and to so many other people, at least with the mentality and the spirit that he has. And he is a name that is going, like, it goes so under the radar. 20, the second he calls it a career, is flying up to the rafters. It's not a question. I think there are a few players on this team that very well could see their number retired. If you said you can only pick one that you know is going to get retired, it's Chris Kreider, and it's not a question. And another milestone falls down. 300 career goals for Chris Kreider, who by the time it's done might not have had the best peak as a Ranger, but if you look as an overall, like the time spent, all of the career leaders that he's going to finish as, you might be able to make an argument that at least among forwards, take Henrik Lundqvist out of the equation, that Chris Kreider might be the greatest Ranger in franchise history. And if they can do that silly, funny little thing in the next couple of months, and the 82nd game ends and that other little season begins, should they go on to win 16 games, and should Christopher Kreider get his name etched into a certain piece of metal, I think the question ceases to exist. You just have a period at the end of the sentence of Chris Kreider might be the best Ranger to ever walk the earth. The next thing I want to talk about, and I am going to play favorites here and save Quick for last, Alexis Lafreniere, who, coming into the season, faced so many different questions of is he ever going to develop, he's the bust, What are you going to do when it comes time to pay him? You can't really give him that big of an extension because he just straight up hasn't earned it. He's been labeled with the bust basically since his first season was half over with. He's been great this season. Not good, not solid or respectable. He's been great. He's been a really, really good player. He's going to finish with like 55 or 60 points. And had he not been unbelievably unlucky to start the year, he easily could have cracked 65. He's been great. A phenomenal Ranger. And if I'm not mistaken, his final goal was his 25th of the year. Again, he was getting just horribly robbed and horribly unlucky for the first 20 or so games of the season. He very easily, if he would have just been scoring at a normal rate, he'd crack 30 no problem. He's having a ridiculous season, and this game was... I think there have been some games where you think, he has arrived. This was his official crowning of, nope, he's just really a good player. Like, no more ands, ifs, or buts. You're not handling him with kid gloves anymore. You're not having to put an asterisk of like, well, consider what... No, he's just a good player. First goal was a disgusting snipe. The second goal was a filthy backhander. He had a couple of really nice assists tonight. One that I'm going to talk about, and you might give me a load of crap for it, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway. The first assist he got, which was the Ryan Lindgren goal. And this is a show of growing up. Ryan Lindgren and Adam Fox were pinching, and Lafreniere, if I'm not mistaken, was the only Ranger back on the blue line. Not only is Alexis Lafreniere's confidence going up, the team's confidence in him is going up. And that's why I say there's no more asterisk, there's no more handling him with kid gloves. He is finally here. He has finally grown into the player, or at least something close to the player we hoped he would be. I am incredibly excited to see his playoffs. And should he have a good, confidence-inspiring playoffs, I might have the hot take and say he might flirt with 70 points next year. It might even be a point-per-game player. He's looking that freaking good. And then the final note and the special note for me, which is Jonathan freaking Quick. 392 career wins for Jonathan Quick. He passes now Ryan Miller and stands alone at number 1 for all-time wins by an American-born goaltender. And as an American-born goaltender, that is just seeing a goalie that you've watched for many a year and thought, oh my gosh, he's just so good, finally reach that point where he has passed the other all-time great and now stands alone. And to see him also do it for your favorite team, for the team that you know that he grew up adoring, is just such a special moment. Like, how many nights do you think Jonathan Quick probably spent staring at his ceiling, dreaming that one day he might be the all-time leader of American-born goaltenders and do it as a Ranger, and then he got to do it? Like, it's the most feel-good story in hockey, maybe in hockey all year, genuinely. It's going to go under the radar, especially because this was not a wonderful game. You give up 5 goals on 32 shots. Like, that's not just this beauty ride home of a game. But to win the game, to become the all-time winningest American-born goalie for the team you grew up cheering for, it's storybook. It is cartoonish how good it is. And to see it happen, a goaltender that I would like to say, and if I said it to him, he might laugh because I'm sure I do not do any of it even a microscopic level as good as he is, but a goaltender that I have tried to model myself after in certain aspects, to see him do it for my team. It's just... Gosh, it is just such a special moment to see it. And the way the team just went up to him after it, you knew everyone there. No one was going to let him wait another game. They knew he had the opportunity to do it, and you could tell that every player was going to make damn sure that tonight was the night for him. And there's a new all-time American GOAT, and his name is Jonathan Quick. and he did it as a Ranger. So the Rangers are off tomorrow on Easter Sunday. They are back at it Monday evening at 7 p.m. They will return to Madison Square Garden to take on the Pittsburgh Penguins. Again, that is at 7 p.m. on Monday, and I'll be here afterwards to talk about it, but as for right now, that is all I have to say. So if you enjoyed the video, please consider to like and subscribe. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and as always, go Rangers.